How's it going, everybody? You're watching the Christiana 321. I am the Christiana, and I think we all saw this video coming. We're gonna talk about this new Taylor Swift album. Alright? I have a lot of thoughts about a lot of the different tracks. I don't love all of them. I love about half of them, which is like a high percentage for me for when I first hear a Taylor Swift album. It's normally more like a quarter or a third of them. I think part of what helps it is that it's such a short album. There's only 12 songs. So if I like 6 songs on a 12-track album, that's a higher percentage than if I like 6 songs on a 31-track album. You know what I mean? Anyway, there's been a lot of criticism out there that, sorry, my hair is like not quite dry and it looks a little bit flat and gross, but whatever. We're doing this, we're talking. There's a lot of criticism that the way that this album was kind of promoted was this was the behind the scenes during the Eras tour. This is what was going on in her life. And it's not talking about that. It's not talking about, you know, her getting off stage and having to get changed and do press and feeling sore and needing to do, you know, ice bath recoveries and stuff. Here's the thing. It is talking about her life outside of the Eras tour. It's not giving you a play-by-play of, you know, every night, but it's talking about the pressures that she felt when she was off stage to, like, still be perfect while she's on stage and feeling like she needs to be this cool, calm, collected, whatever. And she doesn't always feel that way. It's talking about her love story that was unfolding with Mr. Kelce, Travis Kelce, and what that looked like and felt like, and how her feelings about love either changed or like she was able to like accept how she felt more. There's a lot of discourse online about how with her previous relationship it was pretty clear to her that marriage wasn't something that person was interested in, or at least wasn't interested in with her, and so she accepted that, like, we're gonna be dating forever, we're not gonna get married, and that's fine. And she had to like make herself okay with that. And then in this album, as she's been dating this, I guess, more traditional guy in a lot of senses of the word, she's able to say, actually, no, I want the basketball hoop, I want the marriage and kids, and I'm not going to touch on the song Wood. If you've heard it, you know. But like how her views have changed, and like that's what was going on in her personal life after the Eras tour was over. And, or like after a particular show was over. Or, sorry, got a text message. So each of these songs are talking about different aspects of that. Canceled, her friends getting canceled and calling her for her help while she still has this tour going on. But it's something that like people call her all the time because she's had to deal with being canceled and being in different cancellation narratives a lot. And depending on the exact timing of when that song was written, you could guess who the specific inspiration was for it. I don't want to speculate. I feel like there's a couple of options that it could be, I'll say. But like those were the things that were happening off stage. Falling in love, friends getting canceled, feeling lots of pressure. Also knowing that like the titular song Life of a Showgirl featuring Sabrina Carpenter, like, there are these people that are looking up to her and be like, oh my gosh, I want to be you when I grow up. I want to be as successful as you are one day. But knowing, like, all this other stuff comes with this career and comes with like the stuff that you don't see when you get off stage, that makes it really tough and is not something for the faint of heart. And if you are too soft, it's gonna chew you up and spit you out. So all of that is the life of a showgirl when you're off stage, all of those different elements. So people saying that it was advertised differently than what it was weren't paying attention, I guess, when they were listening to the album. Also, the people who are complaining that it's too poppy, oh my gosh. What were you expecting? The album producers, something in Shellback, Max Martin and Shellback, like, that's what they're known for. All of your favorite Taylor Swift pop anthems were produced by them. We knew for months, probably, I don't remember when it was first announced, we've known forever that this is what was going to happen, that it was going to be a pop anthem thing. When she was on the podcast with Travis, they said it. It's going to be bop after bop after bop, and they are bops. I don't love all the songs, like I said, but half of them. I'm sure the others will grow on me and will become favorites at different points in time. But if it was going to be an album that was produced by, like, Jack Antonoff, and then it was like this, I could see what you're saying. Like, it's a very different feel because it's a different producer. That's how music works. Okay. I want to do a deep dive-ish on one song in particular that I feel like might get misunderstood. And I'm trying to decide, should I make it part of this video or should I make a follow-up video? You guys don't like hearing me talk about Taylor Swift usually, so I'm just going to make it one video. Father figure. Okay. So, people are, again, speculating about the different people and situations that this could be referring to. And it is likely that she's pulling on experiences from a lot of different situations in her life. To make this song. She says it about a lot of the different songs on this album and on her previous albums. Like, most songs, she's not pulling from one particular story and just telling that story straight through. It's different elements, different people that she's interacted with. There are a few that are likely based solely on one situation or solely on one person. But the way that writing works for most people, unless you're writing a memoir, you're pulling from lots of different circumstances, lots of different situations in your life. And sometimes just to make it like a sonically cohesive, like a cohesive narrative for your album, for your song, for whatever, for your book, you can't base it on real life because real life is messy and it doesn't always have a satisfying ending. Anyway, all of that to say, Father Figure is a little bit based off of the George Michael song. She's got a couple of lines in there that mirror the George Michael song. But it's a different story. So the George Michael one is more of a, like, physical, personal relationship kind of situation. But the way that Taylor Swift's Father Figure song reads to me is, it starts off, like, you're in the perspective of the person who is the father figure, wanting to be a mentor to somebody who reminds them of their younger self. And so like, I'm going to help you be successful like I was. I'm going to take you under my wing and pull you through this business we call show. And but it's a little bit of a power play, the way that you see with mentors sometimes, that they are doing it for their own like narcissistic, selfish reasons. They're like, I'm so great, I can make anybody else great, I'm gonna like, and then it's gonna be a feather in my cap when they're successful. But then that person starts getting more successful than their mentor, and their mentor's like, no. This is my business. This is my world. You can like get up to here. You can be almost as successful as me, but if you surpass me, then all of a sudden we're in competition and I will tear you down. I brought you into this world. I can take you right out. And this isn't something that's just in show business. This happens with mentors in the real world too, where like you are supporting someone and like you're so proud of their success and you love where they're coming from, but then all of a sudden, oh, there's only one promotion, and now this person who started many years after me is competing for the same spot that I am? No. I've earned this. I've been here longer. I should get that promotion before them. Which is just not, it's not a healthy way to be. But it also makes me think about the companies where they're like, we're like a family here, where it's really a manipulation tactic. And same with your mentor saying, oh, I'm like a father figure, or you're acting like a father figure to you. It's a manipulation tactic to make you feel like the familial bond, to make you have more loyalty in a situation where perhaps you are then going to put the well-being of the family or of the father figure above your own. And so it's a way to manipulate your mentee into thinking like they need you, they need the father figure, and that they owe them their loyalty even when it's not in your best interest. I'm sorry, my pronouns are getting way out of control with the you and the they, and hopefully you guys can follow this. So a good father, an actual father, would want to see you succeed beyond them. They want you to have a better life than they did. And we see that in real families too, that's not always the case. When people work so hard to provide a better life for their kids than what they had, make sure that they can be more successful than they were, but then their kid isn't struggling as much as they did, and maybe they feel that their kid is ungrateful for the leg up that they were provided. That's also toxic gets thrown around a lot, but it's in that line. It's toxic-ish, toxic adjacent, depending on how far they go with that way of thinking. There's a line in the Father Figure Taylor Swift song that says, they want to see you rise, but they don't want to see you reign. That, I think, really exemplifies that. They want you to be successful, but only to a certain point. Only to where they feel that you deserve to be. And that could be different things. Like, they want you to need them in this like toxic father figure mentor relationship. As soon as you stop needing them because you've risen above them, because you're now reigning in this area, they feel insecure because they're not needed anymore. And are they going to get tossed aside? And yeah, I don't know. There's a line, depending on if you're in the explicit version or the clean version, that says I can make deals with the devil because my check's bigger or because my appendage is larger than the devil's. But if you start rising above your mentor, then now all of a sudden you got a pretty big check as well. And yeah, that makes them feel insecure if it's an unhealthy kind of relationship where it's almost codependent, where your father figure mentor is dependent on having you dependent on them. But as soon as you stop being dependent on them, they lose their power. A good father figure mentor, or a good mentor, wouldn't see themselves as a father figure, wouldn't be saying, I protect the family. They give you tools to help you like learn how to protect yourself in your industry, or they can help step up for you in certain areas, but it should not be a familial bond with your mentor unless they are literally your family, and then it gets even more complicated. Have any of you guys had this kind of toxic mentor situation in your workplace? I definitely have. Not exactly the same where they wouldn't have, I feel like they would have held me back if I started rising above them. I felt like they did want to see me be successful. But it did get to be a certain point that I felt like we were, I needed to protect them as a family member, that we were, we were in this together. I don't know how to say it without being too weird or specific, but there were certain points where like I was putting that loyalty, my loyalty to this mentor, above my own well-being, and that's when I needed to get out of that situation. That's when I started realizing, oh no, I'm not making the right choices for my life and for the company. I should be loyal to me and to the company more so than one particular mentor. Anyway, all that to say, father figure is definitely depicting a toxic work relationship, in my opinion. And you could say that is about Taylor and her old record label. You could say that that's about her actual father and the old record label. Say that it's about Taylor and some of the young pop stars that she's taken under her wing. I don't know. I think that, like I said, I think it's an amalgamation of probably a lot of different situations that she's been in where she was either witnessing it, she was the mentor, she was the mentee. This is a common situation, which is what makes it such a good song to me, is that a lot of people can relate to it and put their own situation into it. And it is a different type of thing than the George Michael song, in my opinion. Alright, there are a couple of other songs on this album that I am obsessed with. I love the song Opalite. I didn't think I was going to. And maybe I will do another breakdown of some of the songs on this album, especially from the feminism point of view, because I think that there's some very interesting takes. But I've seen a lot of those takes already being covered by people who cover a lot of Taylor Swift stuff. I hadn't seen people talk about father figure in this way yet, though. So I might try and find a more concise way to say my feelings about father figure so I can put it into a short that might reach a different audience, I'll say. Anyway, all right, that's everything that I have to say right now about the album. Have you listened to it? What's your favorite song? And then, yeah, what's your relationship with father figure mentors? Whether you've known them, whether you've been them, whether you think that I got this whole take wrong. Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, good night, sweet dreams.